I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm Kara Green. I am a registered dietitian and the program manager for the Northern Ontario Dietetic Internship Program, or NODIP, as we're going to call it. And I am based out of Thunder Bay. With me today are Denise Raftis, a dietetic practicum lead who is based out of Sudbury. As well, we have two of our NODIP alumni, Jessica Greenwood and Maddie Gilfix. Today, we plan to review information about the overall program, highlight some unique aspects, and have Jess and Maddie both share information about their individualized practicum. I will also speak to the admission requirements and the application and selection processes. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, NOSM University respectfully acknowledges that our pan-northern campus is on the homelands of First Nations and Métis peoples. The university buildings that we use in Greater Sudbury and Thunder Bay are located on the territory of the Anishinaabeg Nation, specifically Atikameksheng and Wahnapitae First Nations and Fort William First Nations. And the image you see on the screen is one of Nana Bijou, our great sleeping giant here in Fort William First Nation, also known as Thunder Bay. So successful application of the NODIP will enable you to meet all of the integrated competencies for dietetic education and practice, qualifying you to obtain a temporary license to practice as a registered dietitian and write the Canadian Dietetic Registration Exam. This 46-week program, consisting of dietetic education and practical training, commences in early September and wraps up at the end of July. NODIP is not divided into semesters. In-person orientation and pre-placement training will last for 2 weeks in September. Apologies, I'm pausing to let some people in as they're in the waiting room. Orientation, I was saying, and pre-placement training will be about 2 weeks in September. And then we have educational seminars and coursework carefully structured throughout this full-time program to allow you to get the most of your practical training and practice-based research projects. The NODIP team works to tailor each of your programs so that your placement and project learning experiences align with your interests and aspirations as a future registered dietitian. We begin this planning by meeting with each learner in May. Now, NODIP is best understood by hearing from what our learners have to say, and we have a very short video to share. So I'm going to stop this screen and switch to a different one, and welcome everybody that just joined us. It's good to see you. Okay, I hope that you are going to see. Is the YouTube page showing up? Thank you, Denise. Okay, everyone turn up your volume.
I chose NODIP because of the wonderful opportunities that it can provide me. Living here in Thunder Bay, I had the option to go to Sioux Lookout as well as Kenora. In these rural communities, I got to learn about culture as well as I got to be part of the change in bettering the health of individuals living there.
I chose NODIP specifically because I liked the Indigenous component. I felt very supported by the team. I found that they were very interested in what my interests were and wanted to cater my experience to that.
So I chose NODIP because I really appreciate their values around interprofessional collaboration, around the social determinants of health being important, as well as their values around cultural competency.
NODIP allows me to gain the knowledge and skills needed to succeed
as a registered dietitian working in Northern Ontario?
So I chose NODIP because I wanted a program that was just an internship-based program, and I wanted to move away. So I'm from Southern Ontario, and I wanted to experience something a little bit different than I had before. And I know that NODIP has a really great community distributed learning, and it's so beautiful to be up in Northern Ontario. And I thought that would be just a really great experience to gain that hands-on internship experience in an environment I wasn't used to. And I knew that there was lots of opportunity to do placements outside of my primary site and to just kind of get to experience all that the North has to offer. So I was really excited about that.
I mean, obviously the program and kind of the friendship and the relationships I've built through this program, but also I just think the environment and the scenery of Northern Ontario.
I think my biggest key point would be just the diversity in placements. You're going to get placements here that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
I love the North. This is an incredible opportunity that they have for Northern Ontario students. And yeah, it was such an amazing program. I'm so happy I chose to go to NODIP.
Great. Just going to go back to my PowerPoint. Thanks for viewing. We like our video. So NOSM University houses several health professional academic and training programs, including medicine, dietetics, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech-language pathology, and physician assistants. NOSM University has a unique, community-engaged and distributed education model that allows learners to train in different communities to better understand the local culture, economic realities, and social determinants of health that are relevant here in the North. The walls of the NOSM University are the boundaries of Northern Ontario and span over 800,000 kilometers. That includes Indigenous, Francophone, remote, and rural communities, as well as our larger urban centers. Our education and training programs are designed to train healthcare professionals to be socially accountable to the people and communities of Northern Ontario. On NOSM's website, you can review community profiles of some of the places where NOSM University students live and learn. This can be accessed from NODIP's main page. Dietetic learners with NODIP are based out of 3 principal sites: Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, and Thunder Bay. To provide sufficient support and individualize your program, NODIP has 2 staff who coordinate your program year. Denise works with the Northeast learners based out of Sudbury and Sault Ste. Marie. And myself, I work with the learners based out of Thunder Bay. A minimum 4 to 6 week rural placement is required for this program. Some students request to do additional placements outside of their principal site, and we work to accommodate this. NOSM University housing is provided for placements outside of your principal site at no fee for the learners. As well, mileage reimbursement is provided for travel to and from these locations. In addition to learning with the various other NOSM University disciplines, you may also share some accommodations with these students when you're on placement. Our learners find this to be a valuable aspect to the program as they often socialize and learn together. I'm now going to turn it over to Denise.
Thank you, Kara. We have over 80 affiliation agreements with health organizations across Northern Ontario, the Muskokas, and south to Barrie and Orillia. The placement settings are diverse, including academic teaching hospitals, community hospitals, long-term care homes, diabetes education centers, family health teams, public health units, Aboriginal health access centers, etc. NODIP's 3 principal sites offer our students a similar wide range of dietetic practicum placements. A common question by applicants is if placements in specialized areas, such as critical care, pediatrics, and nephrology are available. The answer is yes. In each of the principal sites, there are critical care units, surgery, regional nephrology programs, cancer care centers, and pediatric programs. On this slide, we provide a general outline of the practicum structure for NODIP. Over the 46 weeks, Students will be able to complete placements in nutrition care, population health promotion, food provision and management, and a practice-based research project. The approximate number of weeks in each practice domain are listed. Typically, 5 placements are scheduled in the nutrition care practice area. Most learners spend approximately 18 weeks in this practice area. A minimum of 2 placements are scheduled in acute care. The practicum schedule is tailored to the student's interests, skill development needs, and career aspirations. Students may desire or need more placements in inpatient care or possibly the outpatient clinical setting. Next, NODIP has 2 placements, approximately 10 weeks, dedicated to the domain of population health promotion. This entirely is completed on-site with health organizations providing services and programs at the population health level or community level. NODIP is fortunate to have partnerships with all the Northern Public Health units, and on-site individual 6-week public health placements are provided. Next, 6 weeks is allocated for the food provision and management placements. Placements are typically provided in hospitals, long-term care homes, or a university food service department. There are 4 dedicated weeks for the student's practice-based project. Practice-based research projects can be part of a larger, multi-phase project or stand alone. We will provide additional information on our practice-based projects on the next slide. Finally, 2 to 3 weeks of consolidation is offered to build your confidence and preparedness for entry-level dietetic practice. On this slide, we provide the list of practice-based projects for our current cohort to give you an idea of the research topics that the NODIP RD advisors can offer you. Students work in pairs or teams of 3 with an RD advisor. These projects are designed to be manageable within a 46-week program while also ensuring you achieve this important practice competency. As you read through the list, you will see that your RD advisor could be a public health nutritionist, a dietitian working at a family health team or a community health center, or possibly a nephrology dietitian. Over the years, a number of our practice-based projects have been presented at conferences or published in peer-reviewed journals. This is not a mandatory component of the practice-based project with NODIP, but we will support you if this is a goal you would like to pursue. Thank you, Kara. Over to you.
Thanks, Denise. So NODIP has a robust professional development program to enhance your practicum training and prepare you for practice as a registered dietitian. Our variety of educational seminars and coursework are threaded throughout your program year. Some are provided during our dedicated orientation weeks in September, others during specific afternoons as virtual workshops, and we have several during our spring academic session. This is a 3-day session of dedicated workshops where we all come together in person in Sudbury. Again, these travel arrangements are paid for by the program. There are 4 courses required in the program, covering topics related to Indigenous and Francophone health, as well as counseling for behavior change and population needs assessment. The course fees are covered by the program. They are online, self-paced, and due at various times throughout the program year. I am now going to turn it over to our 2 NODIP alumni, beginning with Jessica, who will share their experiences with the program.
Thanks, Kara. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I'm a registered dietitian. I finished NODIP back in July of 2022, so I've been a dietitian for a year and a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys a little bit of an overview of my experience with NODIP. So to start, originally I am from Barrie, so I'm not from the north. Have ties to the north. Both of my parents are from Wawa, so way up north past the Sioux. So I grew up always going up north and knew that's where I wanted to settle eventually. I went to the University of Guelph, and then I did NODIP. So I chose NODIP for, that reason of wanting to live in the north, and get the training I need to be a dietitian here. So just on the left side is an overview of my rotation. So I started off with a 7-week food service and management rotation at a long-term care home in Barrie. I had family in Barrie, so that's the nice thing with NODIP. They can kind of put you where you have family, so you can have that living arrangement. So Grove Park Home, which is actually the long-term care home that my grandparents went to, so kind of cool to be a part of that. After that, I moved on to diabetes management, which was my first clinical rotation. A great way to start off with clinical, just because diabetes is kind of everywhere amongst various rotations. So it was good to have that foundation of diabetes management prior to moving on to my next rotation, which was acute and critical care at Health Sciences North in Sudbury. So that was ICU, so cardiovascular, thoracic ICU, and then an oncology floor, which is actually, that was my first job after internship. I took a mat leave from my preceptor, who at the time was pregnant. I didn't know that, but she later told me. So making those connections in internship, super important just for jobs and having that. So from then on, I went on to public health with the North Bay Parry Sounds Public Health Unit. And as Kara mentioned, you will, if you don't have family or housing in your rotation areas, they will provide you with housing. So I stayed in Awesome Housing in North Bay for 6 weeks, which was fantastic. From then on, I moved to population and public health with Mamwasing, which is an Indigenous health access center that kind of services the North Shore. So different reserves near Sudbury, Massey, Blind River area. So got to kind of be immersed in the cultural aspects of the various reserves. And actually I got to take part in a couple cooking classes, and I got to go to a powwow, which was really, really fantastic. From then I went to a clinical and community combined. It was a family health team in Aurelia, so back to kind of down to the Barrie area, which was a lot of population health, chronic disease management. I got exposure to some peds stuff, which was great. And then my last part was the consolidation, which we still call it staff relief, but it's kind of you're functioning as the dietitian. So I did it on the oncology medicine palliative floor, which again was the job I took after internship. So it was great to kind of have that confidence before moving into it. And then at the bottom is just my practice-based research project. So I got to do a cooking class. I got to build a cookbook with my partner Vanessa, it was really a very fun project. Kind of got to start from the ground up, picking the recipes, making them, taking pictures, taste testing. And then it's nice because after the 4 North oncology floor, I moved on to work at the cancer center. So I was able to use this recipe book with patients, which was really, really nice. And yeah, that's kind of my internship experience. And right now I'm currently at Health Sciences North. So I'm in the pediatric ambulatory care unit. So it's an outpatient program. We do pediatric nutrition counseling. So anywhere from milk protein allergies in preemie babies to feeding tubes in kids. Also doing pediatric oncology, as well as a balance program. So it's a pediatric obesity management program that's after school. So lots of different stuff. And then we will move on to Maddie.
Thank you, Jessica.
Hi, everyone. My name's Maddie Gilfix, and I'm a registered dietitian and proud NODIP graduate. I'm from Kenora, Ontario, which is located about 5.5 hours northwest of Thunder Bay. I graduated from NODIP in 2022 and was one of 4 interns in the Thunder Bay cohort. What I liked best about NODIP was the time spent in a variety of different placements and practice settings. I had a total of 7 placements, each lasting between 4 and 7 weeks. Starting in September of 2021, I began internship with a couple weeks of orientation where I got to know my fellow interns a bit better. And then I jumped right into clinical nutrition with medically complex inpatients at St. Joseph's Hospital in Thunder Bay. I moved to diabetes outpatients at the Family Health Team in Dryden, Ontario, And then my last placement before Christmas, I was back in Thunder Bay for nephrology, which included hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and a pre-dialysis clinic. After Christmas, I began my public health placement at the Thunder Bay Public Health Unit, where I did a good portion of it from home in Kenora because it was in the middle of COVID. I then jumped into my favorite placement of all in the intensive care unit at the Thunder Bay Regional Health Sciences Center, which is where I got to experience a lot of enteral and parenteral nutrition. My food service placement was at Pioneer Ridge Long-Term Care Home. And finally, I did a outpatient counseling at Anishinaabe-Mushkiki, which is an Indigenous-based clinic. The last placement we did at NODIP was consolidation, which, like Jessica said, we called staff relief. And I returned to St. Joseph's Hospital and got to work independently to take over the dietitian's caseload. At NODIP, we completed a practice-based project. So with supervision from Lee Rysdale of NOSM, my partner Erin and I created a survey-style tracking tool to analyze early career paths and dietetic training experiences of recent NODIP graduates. We called it the NODIP Graduate Outcome Study. Next slide, please. In March of 2022, I was offered a full-time clinical dietitian position at the Lake of the Woods District Hospital in my hometown of Kenora, Ontario. I was so excited to have secured a job months prior to completing internship, and even more excited to be returning home. Northern Ontario has so many wonderful opportunities, and I hope all of you have the opportunity to experience the uniqueness of the North, whether that be through school, work, or adventuring. Every intern in my cohort had actually accepted jobs either before or shortly after graduating, and 100% of the 2022 graduating class are still working in the North. Shortly before graduation, I was elected on a 4-year term as a director for the Board of Dietitians of Canada. This has been such a great learning experience, and it is so exciting to help govern our national organization in a way that best serves dietitians in our country. In the short year that I have been on the board, I have had the opportunity to travel to Montreal to attend the national conference and to Toronto for an in-person board meeting, and I've connected with so many amazing dietitians from across Canada. Recently, I've also started working as a consulting dietitian with Seasons Care, working a few hours per week at Wigwas, one of the 2 long-term care homes in Kenora. Working in a northern community, you can specialize in an area if that's what you prefer, but you can also have so much opportunity to expand to many different areas of dietetics. I feel that the variety of different placements and the projects I completed with NODIP set me up really well to be the dietitian that I am today. Going into internship, I had no idea what area of dietetics I wanted to work in. Kara and the team at NODIP gave me lots of opportunities to explore what I am good at and what I liked best. Now I'm working in a pretty large variety of areas. In the hospital, I cover inpatient medical and surgical units, ICU, hemodialysis and pre-dialysis clinic, emergency department, mental health inpatients, food service development projects, staff wellness, and more. Now I'm in policy and governance with Dietitians of Canada and long-term care with Seasons Care. And NODIP gave me the opportunity to explore what areas of dietetics I enjoyed and fostered my confidence to practice in all of these different areas. And I'll turn it back to you, Kara. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Maddie and Jessica. That was fantastic. Okay, I'm now going to speak to the admission requirements. So, to be admitted into the NODIP, you need to have graduated with a degree from an accredited dietetic program. So you either have graduated in 2021 or later, or you're just about to graduate this spring. We're looking for a minimum GPA of 75% in the final 2 years of your program, or in your 3rd and 4th year course equivalents. As with all dietetic programs, we look for experience working or volunteering in nutrition-related areas. So some common examples are that perhaps you worked for a summer in a long-term care or hospital food service department. Perhaps you worked or volunteered with a registered dietitian or with a community nutrition program, or perhaps a student-led food and nutrition initiative at your university. We want to hear about it. In your cover letter, please express how your work, volunteer, or research experience illustrates the characteristics we are looking for, such as self-directedness, critical thinking, leadership, flexibility, and adaptability. NOSM University has a social accountability mandate, which means we prepare our learners to work with the populations of Northern Ontario whom we represent. This also includes a commitment to recruiting learners who are from or have a strong interest in working in Northern Ontario and perhaps are Indigenous or Francophone. These are not requirements to get into the NODIP, and we do not hold specific seats for these individuals. However, we suggest that you include this information, along with your interest in why you want to train in the North, in your cover letter. Please also review the program requirements section of our NODIP website. This section outlines the need for specific immunizations and certifications required by our placement sites. As well, it notes that reliable access to a vehicle is required to participate in the NODIP. At NOSM University, you will be well supported. We want to ensure you have the necessary tools and supports to manage academic or personal challenges and be successful. The NODIP team includes Denise and I, as well as Laura Bjorklund, our Sault Ste. Marie site coordinator. We will check in with you regularly to have conversation in both a professional and social capacity, and especially if you are struggling with performance on placement. You will also find your preceptors are a helpful resource for navigating dietetic practice questions and concerns. NOSM University provides a number of arm's length supports from the program, which our learners do access. We have learner affairs officers assigned to you who can offer strategies and direct you to appropriate supports, such as our accommodations officer or Homewood Health Counseling Services, all available at no cost to learners. Other services we provide are access to free Microsoft Office 365 software, a full online university library and on-campus services. This includes assistance with literature searches for your practice-based research project. Now I'll speak to the application process for this practical training program. Applications for the 2024-25 class are welcome beginning on November 15th. This is when our online portal will go live. We only accept applications through this online system. Applications will be due Monday, January 22nd, 2024 at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All supporting documentation, including references, must be received by this date. Information about the document requirements is clearly described on our website. Ensure that you have all documents ready when you go to submit your application. Please note there is no save function once you have started the application. Then, once you submit, your final step will be to pay the application fee of $75. Payment is by Visa or MasterCard. Applications cannot be processed without the application fee. As for references, on our website, there will be a separate link to a form where you will provide us with a list of 3 referees and their contact information. You will submit this form through an online portal, and our admissions team will send your referees the link to complete the online reference form. I strongly suggest that you provide us with your list of referees and their contacts on November 15th or shortly after. This gives your referees sufficient time to complete the reference forms and get them submitted by the January 22nd deadline. We will file these until we receive your completed application. Another nice feature is you will receive an automatic email notification from NOSM University when your referees have submitted their form. If you are currently a student, upload your unofficial transcripts after your fall grades are posted. Official transcripts showing that your degree has been conferred will be requested if you accept an offer of admission. If you completed the KCAT, please submit confirmation of results. Virtual interviews for the NODIP will be held in late February. Only those selected to attend an interview will be notified by email. Admission offers will go out in early March. The 2024-25 NODIP tuition will be $3,000 total. NODIP is able to offer this tuition amount thanks to the support of the Ministry of Health, who partially funds the program. The ancillary and health benefit fees have not yet been confirmed for 2024, but they will be approximately $500. Note that if you have health insurance through your parents or another provider, you do not have to pay the health benefits fee, and this is approximately $400 of those $500 ancillary fee and health benefits I mentioned. There is a non-refundable tuition deposit of $500 due approximately 2 weeks after you accept an offer of admission to the program. The remaining tuition and ancillary fees are due on August 15th. Please remember that you have to cover the costs of living in your principal site, so consider rent, groceries, utilities, etc. As I mentioned, you also need access to a car, so you will need to cover costs of fuel and parking expenses. Other expenses include professional liability insurance, Dietitians of Canada membership, and possibly expenses related to getting your immunizations up to date. One common question: NODIP is not OSAP eligible because our learners are not registered with an academic program. NODIP is a practicum program. However, we understand that it can be challenging to finance your internship year, so we encourage you to contact our financial aid office for assistance. There are some external bursaries available to dietetic learners, such as those through financial institutions like the Royal Bank. Past learners have been successful in accessing these bursaries or other student loans. Our learners have benefited as well from the National Student Loans Service Center repayment program. So this concludes our information on the NODIP. We are happy to take questions. Do we have any, Denise?
Yes, we do. The first question sent directly is, what is the difference between a master's and a practicum only program?
Well, the biggest difference is that a master's usually takes longer than a practicum only program. It's usually, at least 18 months to 2 years. There's a stronger focus on academics, so there's more studying and coursework involved. A practicum program like NODIP is very hands-on the entire time. As I mentioned, we try to keep our educational seminars and coursework a little shorter or self-paced rather than focused in classroom sessions all the time. So it really is ideal for people who want to get their hands working and get on the ground working as quickly as possible. Whether it's an integrated master's or a standalone practicum program, both give you they both allow you to achieve the integrated competencies for dietetic education and practice. You can apply for a temporary license when you finish either program and write the CDRE exam. So it's I guess it's a matter of finishing a little bit faster, and you get a certificate in dietetics with NODIP, whereas you'd have a master's degree with doing a combined integrated master's.
The next question that we have, Kara, is, I am just wondering if as a NODIP intern, would insurance consider us as students still?
I am assuming health insurance, yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming as well. And
Yeah.
please correct if that's Danielle who wrote that question. Just let us know if this is not the intent behind your inquiry.
Yes. So we support, through the registrar's office, we write letters explaining to insurance companies and banks that you are a full-time student to allow you to maintain that student status, allowing you to keep benefits such as health benefits and others, insurance, etc. It's a good question.
Okay, the next question we have, do students pick the primary site that they want, or is it picked for them?
Excellent question. Sorry, Denise, you paused. I was curious if that was a two-parter.
Yes, but I'm going to let you answer the first part first.
So in the interview, one of the questions we will ask you is, what is your preferred site, principal site? And we have a NODIP selection committee made up of myself and Denise and Laura, the Sault Ste. Marie site coordinator, and we discuss the best fit for all the learners at the 3 principal sites. And we strongly take into consideration your request for the site.
And part 2, and are the rotations all contained in that primary site, aside from the rural placement?
Good question. Typically, yes, we basically keep you in that region, but I will say that's not always the case. And sometimes if you have a really strong desire to go somewhere else in the north that isn't in the region of your principal site, we'll try our best to make that happen for you. It's a good question.
Our next question, approximately how many students will be admitted?
Oh, good question. For this upcoming year, we're looking to fill 14 positions in the NODIP program. Typically, we do 12 to 14. We do 12 usually, but this year we're going to try and fill up to 14.
No, that's a repeat. The next question we have is, do you need experience working with Indigenous or Francophone people or communities?
Oh, good question. You do not need experience working with Indigenous or Francophone communities. We endeavor to provide you with those experiences in the NODIP program. So no, I know that's a common myth about our program, and it's not true.
Scrolling down, okay. Another question here is, Maddie provided her favorite placement. Does Jess have a favorite placement she can tell us about?
I think my favorite placement, it's hard to pick one. I liked them all, but aside from probably food service was my least favorite. Good parts of it, however, not my favorite. I think probably public health. I really liked. I didn't really know what to expect. My preceptor was fantastic. The other public health dietitians were great. I got to do really cool things. Like I got to organize a cooking class. I got to do a food box. I got to do prenatal nutrition classes. So I kind of got to do a little bit of everything. So I would say that would be my favorite placement of internship.
Thanks, Jess.
That's all the questions that have been posted to the chat.
Okay. Well, if anyone's thinking of more, go ahead. We'll wait another moment while I just explain this last slide. We have scheduled drop-in sessions, 6 of them, throughout the month of November and December, where you are welcome to just pop in and ask any questions you might have about the program. Denise and I will be there, and we love meeting with potential learners. So please drop in. You might have questions, like I said, about the program, or perhaps you have questions about the application process itself, and we're happy to answer those. So if you go to NODIP's website, and you can just Google NODIP, you'll get our website there, but I have it listed as well. You'll see under future learners, there's I've got dates there that you can click on and choose and register for one of those sessions, and they're virtual. Our website's great to look around. You can see we have a whole section on our alumni. And I want to share that we had two Northerners here. One that we basically adopted into the North, that's Jess, and Maddie, who is a true Northerner from the beginning. But we have many learners who come into our program and they leave and they move on and get jobs in Southern Ontario, BC, Saskatchewan, the East Coast, all over. It's not a requirement that you stay in the North if you complete the NODIP program, but we do love it when you do stay. So please check out more information on our website. You can email us at nodip@nosum.ca. We are doing our best to get onto social media. We have a NODIP highlight reel on our student-led influencer account called @NOSSOMFutureMDs. So we have a few dietetic students. We have one from last year. She's got a number of cute videos and just little posts about her experience in the program. And we just had 3 more sign up, actually, who are going to be doing some this year. And you can follow me. I'm not as exciting, but I try to post information about the program on Kara Green RD. If you want to get in contact with Maddie or Jess with specific questions, they've kindly offered their email addresses here. So please feel free to reach out to them. As well, one of our current learners, Manveer, has offered her email if you want to ask about what it's like right now to be a NODIP learner. You can contact her.
Kara, we do have another question, and a
Great.
really good one.
Okay.
Say you are particularly interested in working in a certain field. Can you request more weeks of rotations in this field?
Ooh, I like that question. I think the short answer is yes. That's why we endeavor to individualize each program. So we tailor it to what you're looking for. There are some requirements of the NODIP that fit within the 46 weeks. So depending on what you want to do, we try and fit it in 46 weeks. Some learners opt to add a couple weeks onto their program in order to accommodate their interest in a specific area. And we welcome that opportunity as well. Do you have anything to add to that, Denise?
I think just that we've done this in the past and it's always fun, whether it's additional time in public health or that, you know, someone wants to be able to practice in acute care, and we do those medicine, surgery, critical care rotations back to back. So it's one of the best parts of our roles is tailoring the program to the learners. I don't see any further questions in the chat, Kara.
Okay. Well, I see some thank yous coming up. I want to thank everyone for participating today. It's good to see you, your names anyway, and we really appreciate your questions. Yeah, we hope to see applications next month-ish. I know most people don't submit until usually December at the earliest. Yeah. You are welcome. Good luck, everyone, if you're still in school with your remainder of your classes.